let's start with the first question for Beterbiev versus Callum Smith. I'll put this question to you, Coach Mustafa, to begin with. So, what aspects of Beterbiev's performance impressed you the most in his victory over Callum Smith?
His jab, it looked like he was trying to really put more focus on his jab, and he did it excellently. He executed it good. He jabbed out out jabbed the taller, longer fighter like easily almost. I'm saying it was from the first round till the end. His jab was clicking real good. So that's what really impressed me. You didn't see that as much like this time, the other fight. This was the one he really like he stressed the jab.
Yeah, he don't. Well, a lot of times fighters get carried away, maybe by their punching power because everyone's talking about it, and then they're
Uh-huh.
tempted to search for that knockout. Beterbiev didn't. He sort of stuck, well, I said, behind that jab and kept using it. So, Brandon, so you fought as light heavyweight and super middleweight, light heavyweight in the amateurs, I believe, was it?
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
middleweight in the pros.
Hmm.
So, I mean, how would you assess Beterbiev's punching power? And Coach Mustafa just mentioned about how he used the jab. So, what about the impact and the flow of the fight against Callum Smith going back to Beterbiev's punching power? Do you think the jab sort of hid his punching power? He set up that punching power, and Smith was always wary. What was your sort of opinion of Beterbiev's
I
punching power
mean,
in that fight? How he used it?
20 fights, 20 knockouts. I mean, I think that's, yeah, that's a credit to his punching power. So I definitely think he has the power, but I think it's more his physical strength is, and then he mentally breaks the guys down. So I'm sure he's a puncher. He's a big guy, 190, 200 pounds going in there. Obviously, he can punch, but I think it's more of the way, because he's doing mid round, late round stoppages, seventh round knockout, eighth round knockout. So he's stopping these guys in the middle. So he's breaking them down mentally, similar to like Golovkin does, even maybe a Kovalev. So yeah, he's breaking them down over the fights, placing his shots, and just kind of grinding them down. But he does it in a calculated way. Like Coach Mustafa said, he's using his jab to set up all of his power punches. He used it to close the distance versus Callum Smith, and he controlled the fight with his jab, and that allowed him to land his power punches. And he really took
Uh,
the fight out of Callum Smith.
mm. I mean, I heard some. I don't know how true it is. I heard some crazy stat that in 20 fights, he's had 48 knockdowns or knockouts. So the guys have tasted the canvas
Yeah,
48 times in 20 fights against Beterbiev,
yeah.
which is very, it's just amazing, isn't it? 48 times. Wow.
Um,
So Coach Mustafa, we always have this conversation, speed versus power, and most of us boxing coaches will say we'll go for speed all the time.
Uh-huh.
But Beterbiev's power, it's a little bit different in that he doesn't look like he's loading up. He's throwing short punches, and they
Uh-huh.
seem to be, taking people out. So, what's your opinion here on the speed versus power debate? Looking at the way Beterbiev fights.
I think you make a good argument for both. I'm gonna tell you why. Muhammad Ali, no matter how good he never dominated Joe Frazier. Like he never blew him out. Was probably never beat him 3 rounds in a row, not once. Sugar Ray Leonard, as he fought Tommy, fought Hack, those type of guys, he never put together 3 or 4 straight rounds. He just dominated them. So and probably vice versa. Um, when you have a very good fighter, whether he's powerful or fast or slow or he's not really powerful. He knows how to fight his pace. That's what Trevor is very good at. I think that he knows his own self. You know what I'm saying? And he knows how to fight at his pace. He can make a faster fighter slow. Floyd Manny Pacquiao, for example. No matter how fast Pacquiao was, Floyd kept him at his range, his speed, his tempo, his pace. I think the better guys know how to time you and know how to either accelerate the fight or slow it down and make it fit their their fight plan, their strategy, and that's pretty much what he's really good at. It might look Golovkin might look boring. Nobody probably ever studied Triple G, but it's not just the big chin. He's never really been beat up on the defensive aspect. Nobody really doing him all kind of way. It's very subtle, simple, straight line. It's effective. Same thing with Beterbiev. Yardy might be way more faster than him, but his timing was better, um, much more smarter. It might not be flashy, but he's more intelligent because the shot that he's doing is thought about. Like, see, bring guys down over 7, 8 rounds over the course of the fight. The shots start landing harder, more thudding, and yeah. So I think that it's not really a benefit to either. Once a fighter, 39 years old, he knows himself. George Foreman at 40 something years old, he can fight with anybody. For Holyfield, it's a hell of a fight. For Oliver McCall, young, faster, sharper fighters, and George Foreman was in both of those fights because he knew how to slow it down. To him, Bernard Hopkins in his 40s, he made all of those guys look like nothing, much younger men, because I believe it's a lot of knowing yourself, knowing your IQ, and fighting that. Making the fight be your fight. Because you can't fight their fight.
It's interesting you mentioned Golovkin because Golovkin and Beterbiev both seem to have that similar sort of thudding power
Yeah.
where you almost don't expect them to hit as hard as they do, but it catches your
But the
attention
thing about it, they,
and they
they
keep it up, that
always,
power, the whole fight.
and they bottom heavy. Like they stay pretty much planted. Like they try. I believe he knows he's not the fast guy, so he's not trying to be fast. He's trying to hurt you. He's trying to, lure you into something and time you into something and go to work.
Those short punches he throws,
Oh, we.
it almost makes up for the speed, doesn't it? Because
Oh,
they're coming from a short distance, aren't they? There's no pullback. He just throws them at you. Um, so that's an interesting way as well. So he has to almost make up for that lack of speed. So Brandon, as you've obviously fought as well and big fights. How do you mentally prepare for someone with Beterbiev's sort of punching power? So if you're fighting a power puncher, what's the mental side of things? With someone who's fast, all right, yeah, he's going to hurt you. They got all punches hurt. But with a power puncher, it's just that one punch any moment. So mentally, how do you prepare for that? Callum Smith, for example, he went to this fight knowing he's facing a big puncher. Um, talk to us about the mental side of things of facing a heavy puncher.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to your preparation and your game plan. Really, I mean, you have the same mentality whether you're in there with a puncher or somebody that can't punch as hard. Like it's a mentality thing. It's like it doesn't matter what this guy hits you with. I'm gonna do what I need to do. So it's really mental leading up to the fight, and then when you're in the fight. As far as the strategy goes, I think Joseph Parker, when he fought Wilder, said a good blueprint, right? You push him back. You push him back, you go to the power, you challenge the power. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. A lot of guys move away, and that allows that's what they're accustomed to. That's what Golovkin, that's what Beterbiev is accustomed to, coming forward and steamrolling guys. Callum Smith pushed him back on his heels a couple times, but he didn't keep doing it. So again, it goes back to your game plan, mentality going into the fight. Everybody can punch, man. Everybody can punch, especially when you're talking about super middleweights, light heavyweights. And then when you go to the top level, everybody's fast. Everybody can hit hard. So again, it goes back to your mentality going into the fight, and then your preparation, your game plan. How are you going to deal with the type of puncher they are? Beterbiev, he uses that high guard. He comes forward. But the thing about him, he doesn't wait for you to stop punching. A lot of guys like Arthur Abraham, who else fought with the high guard? Even like a Winky Wright. They wait for you to immediately stop punching, and then they get their offense off. Beterbiev punches with you, and so that's a different type of puncher than like an Arthur Abraham or even like a Golovkin, right? Um, he punches in between your shots. And so you saw it on the inside when he was running body shots coming back to the head, and Callum Smith kept trying to. That was Callum Smith. That's what they were talking about going into the fight, was the counter left hook, right? And he was throwing the counter left hook, but he was throwing with him, and he had his hand in position to where he just caught the shot. So he basically neutralized it, and he was punching with him. That's how he landed a lot of his shots on the inside, punching with Callum Smith.
Yeah. So, Coach Mustafa, I mean, I've heard that Callum Smith wasn't always listening to the instructions given to him in the fight. So, do you think he should have done it? There's always going to be that argument, isn't there? If you don't listen to your coach, things are going to happen. What sort of adjustments do you think he could have made during the fight? On hindsight, this is of course, I suppose we've got the
Hindsight.
benefit now. We've got the benefit now of watching the fight, but he wasn't listening to his coach as far as some people have suggested.
Yeah, I would have. He could have tied him up more. Um, it reminded me of Emmanuel Stewart, who when Tommy fought Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, no, Marvin Hagler, and Tommy went straight to war. You know what I'm saying? And Emmanuel telling Tommy to box him. You know what I'm saying, to move around. And later on, when Tommy got with Emmanuel and Klitschko, it was the same thing. Stay on the outside, keep the shots long, try to keep it outside. But when they get inside, instead of moving, try to push him, clench him, tie him, control his arms and stuff like that. I believe that he could have done a lot more of that to try to push Beterbiev back a little bit. A little bit of Andre Ward, a little bit of Bernard, Holyfield, Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Lance Lewis, Mike Tyson. Emmanuel Stewart told Lance Lewis when you get finished punching, push him, take him off. Really, I know Beterbiev is really, 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 really strong, but that ring was pretty short, close anyway. A couple days ago, that was a short ring. So it's like you couldn't move like that. You would have got caught, and it wasn't smart to exchange with Beterbiev. You know what I'm saying? So more or less, stay close and bump and rub. You supposed to be able to do with Buddy McGirt and Simon Brown. So many times, Buddy slid right inside, but Buddy smothered him. He didn't move. Some distance you can always go away or you go to it. So if the ring is not that big, go like Brandon said, you can't run from the power because two negatives. Small ring, he going to catch you eventually. For two, you end up spending your gas tank moving away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to him, and they let him call it boring. Clinch him, um, tie him up, frustrate him. Holyfield, Mike Tyson. I love that fight. Andre Ward, Alan Green. Alan Green probably was a lot longer than Andre Ward and probably had a bigger one punch than Andre Ward did. Andre Ward went straight to him. First round, nullified him, frustrated him, and worked it from there. I believe that would have been a better. That if I was coaching him, say go inside and not go inside and punch him, but go inside and time wrestle him. You know what I'm saying? Try to push him back, try to turn him, throw the short shots because he can't go high guard. That joker hits.
Yeah,
When they hit him and he tried to go high, he just boom, boom, boom. He just bombarded you, and then one of them gonna hurt you and just bust you up. That's what happened. So yeah,
yeah, and I suspect even using the high guard to block Beterbiev's punches is going to hurt.
thank you. It's rough
Yeah, yeah,
punch.
yeah. So Brandon, Callum Smith, he's a big guy, super middleweight. He was big, six foot
Yeah.
three. Even on the fight Beterbiev, he looked like the bigger man.
Yeah.
But do you think he used his physical traits to the fullest in that fight? Do you think he could have done a bit more of his size? He's a big lad he was looking at, wasn't he?
I mean, we were talking about it earlier, man. I think he used what was in his toolbox, man. He's not known for a guy that maintains the distance. But back to his frame, I thought he filled out well at 75. He looked good. I think that's the right weight for him.
Mm.
He looked really good physically. But it's just you're asking a guy to do something that he hasn't shown you before, right? So we could use your length, stay out of range, box. But you look back at the Canelo fight, uh, he didn't do it. You know what I mean? He didn't tie up. He didn't try to fight on the inside. You guys over there aren't really known to be inside fighters. So I don't know how long he's been working with Buddy McGirt, but I'll take it as probably one of their first fights together, right?
Yeah, I think it's just a couple, 2 or 3 fights
Yeah,
most.
yeah, and so you can't really change, you can't really add too much to his repertoire with that in that short amount of time. So yeah, we can. He did what he's shown us to do in the past, and back to what Mustafa said, he could have held on and try to do some stuff and turn him, but I think that would just prolonged what inevitably would have happened to him. He would have ended up getting stopped. It's just too big of a experience, and just the quality of fighter is just it's a different level.
So Coach Mustafa, this Eastern European kind of style, Russian style, Ukrainian style, that's just doing great at the moment. How do you try to overcome someone Beterbiev's trades pressure and power? It's not an easy answer because 20 wins, 20 knockouts shows that no
Inside,
one's figured out yet.
inside,
Yep, I agree.
inside,
Yep.
inside. It might
But
sound crazy.
Beterbiev is also physically very strong as well. So on the inside,
You
and
got to be crafty.
yeah,
But
are you going to be able to move him?
yeah, the safest bet is to go ahead and decide on him. And like I said, that's not really a very big popular of Eastern Europeans and of like Europe is the inside. A lot of guys are long and rangy and very 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 good at that. If there was a flaw, it's to go inside. It's an interview and Haney was walking by Lomachenko, and Haney said, "Yeah, I'm about to fight a great amateur," and Haney knew what he was saying, and I think it is from having so many amateur fights, you almost have a purely amateur style. If you think about ooh, remember Fletcher from Philadelphia, middleweight. I forgot his first name, real rough.
Was it nicknamed the Animal? Frank.
Yeah, the animal. Yeah. Dwight Muhammad Kawi, uh, Matthew Sad Muhammad, Ronnie Lau. They weren't very 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 good amateurs, so they didn't have an amateur style. A lot of them they were rough and tough and durable, but inside they were crazy. So, um, I believe what Haney meant was again, Lomachenko, you're a great amateur. You got a great amateur style, but I turn pro, or I got a pro style. I go to the body shots. But Beterbiev, none of them guys really known for a lot of body shots. Besides maybe
Yeah,
Triple G, Kovalev, Usyk. Not knocking it, but it's the reality. You know what I'm saying? A lot of points. So if you had to say what would be, it got to be the Salito Lomachenko. You know, a little dirty. It's the Mexican style coming inside and banging the body up. It's a tall task. Like I say, Callum probably never learned that to do it. But if you had to ask me, what would I think would be to Andre Ward and Kovalev before the fight? Virgil Hunter gave it up too in the interview. Most probably thought he just talking. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Until it happened. And they said, oh, a low blow, whatever. But it was the perfect game plan. If you get inside, make it rough, make it a dogfight, and go to the body. We've seen him hurt before. We've seen Beterbiev hurt before, hurt bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they Callum, no matter people might say he didn't use his range, I don't think he wanted to use the range. I think he wanted to land that left hook. Because they probably worked for years,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
in the gym. That left hook he got is very, very, very good.
yeah,
It's probably one of the best in boxing. He can counter with it, lead with it.
yeah.
He got about 5 different highlight reel counter left hook. Like I mean, my guy studied the way he does it, so he does it really good. He probably put all his eggs in that basket that I'm going to catch him. And when he got hurt the first time, but Beterbiev got hurt real bad was a left hook. So I'm pretty sure Callum didn't want to out jab him. He probably countered on I'm land left. Even when he got knocked out the first time, he was hurt, still throwing left hook. He got heart of a lion, man. He
Yeah.
was he was he was in it to win it. He tried his best, and I think his mind. You know how I go in fighters. You know your best shot. So he believes that if I land my hook, the fight is over. And so I don't think he really wanted to go out there and establish his jab in an eye boxer. He wanted to go out there and do his thing, but try to land that big left hook.
yeah, and I think Beterbiev, he wants you to try throwing your power punches because he
Of course.
knows he probably hits harder than you, and he can probably take your punches
Yeah.
better than you can take his.
Yeah. He
So
gonna block it.
exactly what he wants, isn't it? He wants that firefight.
So you got time. I think you got to tie him up, go inside, let him call it dirty. But Andre Ward Kovalev, man, Triple G Canelo second fight. Canelo went straight to him. He had to. First fight, everybody thought Triple G won. He pushed him back with that jab, and very similar style. Kovalev, Beterbiev, Triple G, Volzik, very similar. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah. They don't. They and that the inside. It's of course it's a combination of both, right? When you fight at that
yeah,
level, you got to have more than one game plan. But you're right. I think it is the going on the inside because I sparred with Kessler and Abraham, and anytime you get in distance, they basically just stop and they look to they'd stop and they expect you just to break. Okay, let's go back to that mid range game and let's start fighting again. And then when you start hitting, when you look at Kessler and Andre Ward in the first fight, he didn't know what was going on. He said, "Why is this guy hitting me in the clinch?" He was looking to the referee to come break the fight. It's just I don't know what it is. They just
there's a
having
there's a well-known guy. I won't say his name, but pretty popular coach. I had a guy in his camp twice, and my guy said when they went to camp, they could not work on the inside at all.
yeah,
Never.
yeah, exactly, 100%.
Whenever they
Yep,
got here,
yep.
he
The coach will
automatically
stop
said
it.
break
Yep, yep,
immediately. So the flaw of that, so the benefit is in camps, your guy get to work on the outside, do what you want to do. But the
sure.
flaw is they never get to practice going inside and being
Yeah,
able to,
yeah.
tie guys up, work. Another good fight, Julian Williams versus Jared Hurd.
Mm,
J Rock went right in there
mm-hmm.
to his wheelhouse, pushed him back, tied him up through the short shots, and that was a fun. That fight and the Kovalev fight for me were the two, like, if I had to, what I'm saying, have my guy to study, work on the inside, and Allen Green fight. Those are phenomenal, awesome fight. They fought the much longer, bigger guys, and didn't go away. Went to them with skill, not just toe to toe, but
Hmm. Yeah,
with a lot of craft, and pulled off great performances.
So, Brandon, so we mentioned about uh, Callum Smith when he fought Canelo. We were expecting a lot more because of his talent, but he didn't do too well. And now against Beterbiev, another big fight, another big name, he struggled again. Mentally, do you think there's something there mentally, and how is he going to recover both mentally and physically after this kind of loss?
yeah. That's all depends on the fighter, man. That's really depends on the fighter. But to me, I don't think he put up a bad performance. I thought that he fought the best he could. I thought he showed heart. He kept fighting all the way into the end, but he was just overwhelmed, man. So coming back, I think that's a good weight for him. He looked strong. I don't know how he felt, but he looked like he felt strong. Uh, so you go back to the drawing board. He got a good coach. If he stays with Buddy McGirt, he can bounce back from this, especially at that weight. I think that's a really good weight for him. And like you said, he's a puncher, man. So he's got that counter left hook. He's always got a chance to get you out of there. He believes in it. So, but again, I don't know where he would be at mentally after the loss. Take some time off, get heal, recover, and then if you want to, you get back in the gym.
Yeah, maybe I'm speaking from the point of view of being in the UK. So we've seen Callum Smith's whole career. So we were kind of expecting more from him, both against
Yeah.
Canelo and Beterbiev, because we know what he's capable of, how much talent he's got. But
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
sometimes does do you think nerves maybe can play a part when he's on foreign soil, a big name, big puncher? Do you think that would have played a part in maybe that performance, bright lights, the things getting
Yeah, it definitely can, man. Especially when you're talking about Canelo. That's as big as it gets. You know what I mean? Leading up to the fight, it's a big moment. But again, that all depends on the fighter. You know what I mean? But yeah, all those different levels, right? You could start in the even at the amateurs, you fight smokers. That's a whole type of experience, whole type of feeling. Talk about going to the nationals, then you fight on the international. They're all different experiences, and you have to be in the moment to see how you're going to respond to it. The only way you prepare for that is just mentally prepare yourself. You prepare for the moment in your head, whole time training leading up to the fight, but you don't really know how you're going to respond until you're in there.
So he's had that performance now twice when he's had the two biggest names of his career, Canelo and Beterbiev.
Yeah.
How's he going to overcome that? He's going to have questions of self doubt, even though he's a former world champion. He's going to have
Uh,
those questions of doubting himself. He's 33 years old now, I believe. Do you think he's the next step for him? Is it going to be retirement, or does he it's a long road back now if he wants to get that world title again?
Yeah, I mean, you could consider him still in the mix. I don't think you could. He lost to the best in the division. Lost, you know what I mean? One of the best guys in the division. It's nothing to get upset about. He can bounce back from that. And
Yeah.
again, it all depends on the fighter, on the boxer. You know,
So, Coach Mustafa, how do you rate this performance compared to other notable fights we've had recently? We've had great performances from Crawford, Haney, Lopez. Anyway, where do you rate Beterbiev's performance amongst those?
It's right up there. Well, uh, the Crawford fight is one of the best I've seen in years, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to top that against that guy. Against we did there. Um, and the way foot was very good as well too. He came in there and put on a performance that was, what I'm saying, really, really, really good. Uh, Handy was good too, dominant. But that was a good performance. So it's probably fourth or fifth top best we've seen in a while. Probably this year, the last 12 months. Um, that was probably the best fight of Beterbiev's career, hands down. Uh, One of the best opponents, you know what I'm saying? And he went out there and like dominated each and every round. Um, Outboxed him, defense was good, didn't get hit too many clean shots to hurt him at all. Um, so yeah, that was yeah. It's almost funny how you see a guy get better, but it goes to his demeanor. He stays humble. He always said that he's not a good boxer yet. Some may laugh and think I think he's 100% serious. I think that's one of his strengths is that he's continuing to grow
Yeah.
and evolve and get better, even though he has what I'm saying the Olympics and the World Championships and 20 straight knockouts. His demeanor is what makes him that much better. You know,
Yeah. I
he's
think I
coming
saw.
not looking better every fight.
Yeah, I think I saw recently his assistant trainer John Scully, the Iceman. He mentioned how Beterbiev fought on a Saturday, flew back to Russia, and then Monday morning, 6, 7 in the morning, he was back training for hours, still working.
That's real. You
Yeah.
can't find that from people that ain't got no money. Let alone a multi-millionaire world champion like
Yeah.
that. That's extremely impressive.
Yeah. So
yeah.
this kind of goes on to my next question for you, Brandon. So he's 39 years old this month, I believe. He's 39 this month. But he looks like, as Coach Mustafa said, just had his best performance. So what improvements did you sort of observe from Beterbiev at 39? How he's now fighting better after all these years boxing?
I mean, the use of the jab is really what I think was really impressive with that fight. I think that stood out more than anything. Uh, but he probably lives a clean lifestyle, man.
Mm,
He's a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so he probably lives a clean lifestyle outside of the gym. Probably doesn't probably doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. So that's all longevity, man. You see these guys like Bernard and you see Floyd. So he's probably someone that takes care of his body. And even though you know that style of fighting, we tend to say it ages quicker because he's taking a lot of shots with the high guard, but his body seems well conditioned. He seems like a hardened fighter. You see the type of strength and conditioning that he does. He's done that all these years. He's probably he's got a real strong frame, strong mind, and so that could be a credit to why he's still improving durability. And you got to look at it when you compare him to Bivol. They have a similar amount of fights. Bivol has 20. Beterbiev has 20, or Bivol has like 22, and Beterbiev has 20. But he's only gone. I checked it out. He has 98 rounds in 20 fights. Bivol has 184 rounds in 22 fights. So you know, he's going 12 rounds. Bivol's going 12 rounds every fight. You know, um, Beterbiev's getting him out of there in 7 rounds. So you take all those rounds with the sparring. So he's got a lot of amateur fights, but you talk about as a professional, he's not taking a lot of damage. 98 rounds is, and 20 fights is not a lot. So, he's probably pretty well preserved as far as we talk about on a professional level. Then you talk about all that conditioning he's done as an amateur, all those years, living a clean lifestyle, the strength and conditioning. He's conditioned his body over the years. So, he may have a lot of miles left, looking that good at 38 years old.
So in the lead up to the fight, so this is for both of you. In the lead up to the fight, there was this talk about these atypical findings for Beterbiev, which they've come out and said it doesn't really mean anything. So I don't look much into it, but clearly other people did. Other people around Callum Smith did. We spoke about mental toughness for Callum Smith and trying to get through it. Do you think? I mean, how significant do you think Beterbiev's mental toughness was, and do you think it manifested in his performance? Do you think he took it personally that people were starting to question his integrity, whether he was cheating or not? And do you think that sort of pushed him to fight better?
I thought that came out after the fight.
No, before.
Oh, did it? Oh,
Yeah. So Mustafa, do you want to go first then?
Yeah, I think it probably made him fight that much better. I think it kind of made that jab better prove that you can't beat me no kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I can outbox you, beat you all day, and I can knock you. I'm not just a power puncher. Um, it's almost like they're saying that's trying to discredit his ability. So say he got to be on something not to be that good. So okay, I will show you that I can out jab you every second, 8 minute round of the fight, and I'm gonna knock you out as well. I'm gonna do both to you. Um, I can box. That might not be fancy, pretty. It's efficient. It gets. That's all the time. My guys study Triple G, study Kovalev, study. But if Kovalev was just a bum, why did he give Andre Ward that much problems?
Kovalev was a great fight. There was a time I remember talking with friends about boxing, and we were saying Kovalev was the second or third best fighter pound for pound in
Of
the
course,
world.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Mm.
But because I guess it's not extravagant. It's not the fanciness. People discredit it. So Triple G the same way. I say, look at him. Look at him at 40 years old, last against Triple G. Against Canelo. Canelo couldn't knock him out. Couldn't hurt him. He couldn't even land cleanly. Because he stepped back twice. Same thing with Beterbiev does. So it's not he might move his feet instead of moving his head. But it's very, very, very good. So I believe it did make it come out there with more motivation to not only beat him, but the way he beat him. He beat him. This fight was real skill. It wasn't the rock him, sock him, take one to give one. He was on point.
And there's some fighters where you no matter what you do, you can't get under his skin. I think Beterbiev is one of those guys who just whatever you say or do, is not going to get under his skin.
Tough,
He's got to
strong.
stay on track, isn't he?
Yes.
Is there anything to add, Brandon, about the accusation or the insinuation that he was taking drugs, whether it made him spurred him on to fight harder and better against Callum Smith?
I mean, great fighters keep a chip on their shoulder, man. All they need is an excuse to walk into that ring with one. So I could definitely see that being a reason for that performance.
So with this win over Callum Smith, there's one fight everyone wants to see now, before anyway, Beterbiev versus Bivol. If those guys meet up anytime soon, we're hoping it doesn't take too long because Beterbiev then will start getting on in the 40s. But if it happens this year, what's your pick for the fight and how do you see that fight going? So we'll start with yourself first, Brandon.
I think it's an intriguing fight, man. I think it's, typically you would consider Bivol the boxer and Beterbiev the puncher. But in my opinion, I think they're more similar than they're different, right? They're both
Yeah,
they both have engagement in the mid range. But after the engagement at the mid range, Beterbiev looks to close the distance. Bevo looks to create the distance. So it's going to be who can kind of dominate after the mid range engagement, right? When they're fighting. And then what happens after? Is Bevo able to maintain his distance, or is Beterbiev able to close it? But so I think they're similar in that. Bevo's a little more of a volume puncher. And so I was talking to a friend of mine, a trainer. He's from Uzbekistan, and he gave me a lot of insight on these two. He's followed them since they're amateurs, and so I originally favored Bivol just a little bit more, just because he was considered more of the boxer. He was able to create distance, and then he started telling me things like how Bivol kind of cultivates this style that he may have certain injuries. That is the reason why he fights the way that he does, and so he brought a couple of those to my attention. And then he also told me, because the age difference, Beterbiev's a little older. When Bivol was a youth champion, Beterbiev was what we could, in the States, an elite champion. So he was kind of like the Open, the national champion in the Open, and Bivol was still a youth. So mixing when they mix up, he might have that, kind of like big brother type of mentality when they go in there, because potentially he said that Beterbiev was like a hero to Bivol in the amateurs. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Whether it means anything, I don't know on fight night. But those are just interesting things to hear from someone that's familiar
Yeah,
with them
yeah.
since they were amateurs. Yeah,
Yeah, it could be a
but yeah,
culture thing as well. That we mentioned the big brother thing. There's
yeah,
can you punch your big brother in the face, for example? Can you
yeah.
expect to beat your big brother?
Yeah. Other than that, I think it's a good fight, man. It's a great fight, and
Right. So yeah. So what's your take on the Bivol versus Beterbiev? Who are you backing for that fight?
Very, very good fight. Big fight. Should hands down be the next fight made for both fighters. Um, I'll probably, I think Beterbiev will win that fight. Um, very underrated boxer. Very underrated boxer. Not flashy, but very effective, efficient. We've never seen him outbox before as well. Um, I think what matters will be maybe the size of the ring, as far as when it'll happen. But again, I think you have to go at him to beat him. I don't think you can over 12 rounds. Voltic did pretty good, but Beterbiev brings that power 12 rounds in a row. It's destructive power. I don't think you can go out there and outbox him like that. I think you have to, like I said, tie him up, go inside, and make it rough. I don't think that Bivol has the in him to beat him like that. So uh he can be beat, but not like that. His jab is good, and his jab is hard. His jab is strong, and the humility in him. They did an interview, and Beterbiev made a comment to Bivol, and you can almost see Bivol didn't have the same mentality that Beterbiev has. Maybe the big brother thing, that may be what it is. Him being, what I'm saying, like I said, the big guy. But you can see that Beterbiev is more confident than he is on the inside, face to face, I believe. And you know what I'm saying? You got to go to
I,
him.
I think that's an important point, isn't it? We mentioned about the big brother aspect, looking up to him, because the big brother's also going to think, I can't lose to him.
Yeah.
It just does. It's just not going to happen, is it?
Mhm.
It's this. Yeah. It's almost like it is like that brother relationship, isn't it? Big brother's always.
If he jabbed the way he jabbed the other night, he's going to knock him out. If he just go for the knockout, of course, Bivol has a great opportunity. If he jabs with him, it's going to be pretty easy.
Mm,
yeah.
if
'Cause
it's an
that jab,
immediate matchup.
that
I,
jab is
I
hard.
I think like what have we seen from Bivol that would neutralize uh Beterbiev's offense? I mean, he doesn't really tie up. He
You know,
he uses his legs to get out of range. So
even when Canelo got in range, he went high, got against Canelo.
yeah,
But Beterbiev is way bigger than Canelo. Hope everyone knows that.
yeah,
Mm.
Canelo came up there because he tried to, be great. But
yeah.
Beterbiev is way bigger. Like I said, all the years of strength conditioning he's been doing, he is way stronger than Canelo.
He's strong. He's
And
strong.
Canelo is very strong, but 190 something pounds, 200 pounds, and dense bones, strong, pushing him
And
back.
and a heavyweight as an amateur as well. He's come down, hasn't he, to light
You know what I'm
heavyweight?
saying?
Whereas
Yes, yeah.
Canelo obviously was at 147,
You
154,
know what I'm saying?
going up.
So
Yeah, Beterbiev, yeah.
he cannot do what he did against Canelo to Beterbiev. That ain't gonna
Mm.
work. Canelo's a
Yeah.
lot shorter. Canelo's shorter than me. You know what I'm saying? Beterbiev's big. He's not that short, and he's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you mentioned I think you spoke while you mentioned the size of the ring. That's going to be an important factor in how he sort of tries to escape or walks his way around the pressure which Beterbiev is going to bring. If that ring is on the smaller side, easier for Beterbiev to cut him off and sort of gradually break him down. It's going to be a long night. But it's interesting because if we asked this question a week or 2 weeks ago, most people would have said Bivol, but now that performance of the
Now
weekend
it
has
is.
changed the
Hey,
tune,
look,
hasn't
look, 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 look at Devin and Shakur. When
So
Devin struggled with Lomachenko, Shakur came in the ring. Everybody, Shakur, he's the man. Devin learned from the man. Now Shakur had a so-so fight.
yeah,
Devin looks amazing, and no one talk about Shakur no more.
yeah. It's a
Boxing
what have
like
you done for me lately sport. What have you
it's
done for me
crazy.
lately?
it? Yeah, I agree with you there.